Okay, today we are playing a game on Route 66. We are in the Gold SR range, and we will be playing about a third of the game as Genji and about 2/3 of the game as McCree. There's a little bit of soldier in there as well, but I do mean like a minute tops, so don't worry about it. So let's start the game. So we're attacking first, starting on Genji. And there's a Widow. Widow killed herself on us, so that's very exciting. They're also called Genji Golden Star, so that's very nice also. So that's a good start for us. We're probably really feeling it right now, Mr. Krabs, if I had to guess. It's not very often the Widow actually kills herself on the Genji. Happened a lot more back in the day. Remember when it used to be feasible for a Bastion to kill himself on Genji? Those were some good times, weren't they? Tragically not really the case anymore, unless the Bastion is just, like, really not paying attention. Widow almost did it again. She was trying to get us right as the deflect wore off, but she did not do it, but we didn't hit her, so, you know, works out in the end for her. So we're currently dying of poison. We didn't die of poison. Excellent. We came, very close, though. We should have been making more effort to get back to our healers on that one, but we didn't die, and that's the important thing. And as I've always said, if you don't get punished, you don't have to learn. So, they're coming in now for their final attempt to defend this point. This dash was tremendously optimistic, because, I mean, what are we expecting this Junkrat to suddenly lose like 70% of his health before we dash to him? Or it was going to have to be a real good shot for it to work out. So that one, now we just don't have our dash, which didn't matter because we got hooked and died regardless, but the dash, no, it was not the time to use the dash. We were still near our teammates, so not having the dash is not exactly the end of the world, because we were near assistance at least, but being in the enemy team without your dash as Genji is generally not a good position to be in. Especially since Genjis like to use their deflect defensively as well, so then you're usually stuck in the enemy team without deflect, without dash. It ends up being bad a lot of the time. So Widow just killed Mercy. Good job, Widow. She managed to kill someone that wasn't herself this time, so that's good for her. And now she's dead again. So excellent patience. We wait until we get right on top of the Baptiste before we go for to actually start attacking. We do start doing the line once we get to him, though, which is counterintuitive at this point, because once you're like right on top of the guy, you want to do the fan, because that does more burst damage than the left click does. The left click's what you do when you're poking at someone from further away. When you're in range, to just, like, get the right click into him. Get the right click in him. Oh, we're on the console today, by the way. Aha! I remembered before halfway through the video, at least, so good job, me. You want to get the fan in once you're really close to them, because you'll end up killing the person a lot faster that way than by doing the line at them once you're point blank. And ideally, you just go, like, fan, dash dead, you know, stuff like that. Classic Genji maneuvers. So, Baptiste is really low. We don't have our dash. Why do we not have our dash right now? We used it to close the gap on Baptiste again. And then he goes off that way. Our Roadhog's kind of pushing him that way as well. We hope Roadhog kind of, like, kills himself on us. He didn't, but we managed to scamper away anyway. Fantastic. Oh, goodness, what? I'm so glad we didn't dash right now. I saw her put the mine down, and I was like, oh god, please. No greed, and we didn't we greed. We have awfully big dreams. Just, like, come up the top, staring right at a Junkrat and a Widowmaker, like, I'll dash into that. Widow's gotta be pretty fucking low, right? Widow is pretty fucking low, but she shot us in the skull. And, frankly, we're going into a Junkrat. We saw her put Venom Mine there. Venom Mine could easily still be there. It was, as it turns out. Very greedy play, and we did get punished for it. We captured the checkpoint anyway, so it ends up being largely irrelevant, but much too greedy. Basically just come over the top like, yeah, she's gotta be low. I can do it. Not a great idea when she's right next to the Junkrat as well. Junkrat would love if we were, like, right next to him, generally speaking. Oh goodness, well, we almost died to Hanzo right there. So Widow changed to Hanzo. Better in some ways, worse in some ways, at the same time, you know. He's got, Sonic Arrow. God damn it, why do I always do this? Storm Arrow. It's because they both start with an S. I'm always like, what word means, like, fast that starts with an S that isn't Sonic, because of a Shadow? No, not Shadow Arrow. Not yet, anyway. One day, perhaps. That we'll have to get like a Dark Elven Archer or something at some point. We have to. I mean, there's precedent now. We've got Tyrande? Whatever. The fucking elf from Warcraft and Illidan in the game now. So it's only a matter of time before Hanzo gets to be like Sylvanas or some shit. And frankly, that'll be a very good day, to be honest with you. I'd much rather play as Sylvanas than Hanzo. I'd be very surprised if he got Sylvanas, but I would be happy all the same. Anyway, so we've had this Dragon Blade for a while at this point, but there hasn't really been a whole lot of need to use it. The enemy team hasn't exactly been putting up a huge amount of resistance to us thus far. At this point, we might as well use Dragon Blade because this might be the last team fight. So we might as well use it now to try and make sure this is the last team fight. We decide to go for that eventually, but we waited a really long time to decide to do that. And then we end up getting, like, clapped by Reinhardt as well. I'm also going back to see we didn't dash beforehand either, because we could have, you know, dashed over to them. We dash through those men. We draw a Dragon Blade. That resets the dash. We can turn, give them a good cut, dash again, you know. Get an extra dash in there by dashing before we draw the Dragon Blade. Then we just, like, kind of mess up the dash right there, trying to get to the Zarya again. We messed it up. We didn't actually go anywhere off of it. Very unfortunate mechanical error. Basically, like, we might as well have used Dragon Blade way sooner in that team fight, because we're looking for that to be the last team fight, and, like, we might as well try and guarantee that it is. It looked like we were going to win anyway, but if it's going to be the last team fight, you might as well fucking go for it, dude. So Lucio is playing Lucio, just, like, hanging out at the back of the point, like, hey, nobody knows, nobody knows. So things are still looking good for us by all accounts. We ended up walking into this Graviton a little bit right there and got sucked into it. We were straying, like, away from our biotic field right here, which is going to make it easier for Zarya to kill us. I'm wondering if that was... because we're moving, like, the same way that she's moving. I'm wondering if this is just an attempt to aim with movement more than anything else, because you can do that. If someone's moving, you can move with them to aim, but that's making it just as easy for the Zarya as well, and took us out of the biotic field. If that was the intent, it might just be that that's the way we decided to move. There might not be any deeper thought to it than that, but it looked like an attempt to just aim by movement, which I do, because I'm lazy, so, you know. So fight is, like, still going well. Really, we're just getting 2 CP'd. Like, it's looked like we're gonna win this fight for a really long time. It just took us a while to get there. Route 66 kind of gets that way on the 3rd checkpoint. It's kind of a fucking pain to attack it. So, yeah, we changed to McCree before the round starts. So now we're in the McCree section. I don't think we change off McCree again for the rest of the game. We might for, like, a second have a faint impression of playing Genji again, but I'm frequently wrong about things, so we'll see. So we're pretty far up right now, you know, really far up. We don't really want to stand this far up, but Roadhog's going to stand even upper than we currently are, as it would happen, because he's just gone down that pipe over there. He's fucking dead, which is exactly what he deserves, but we managed to get the Doom Fist at least. There's their McCree. This was scary. I would have immediately, like, rolled back from this, because I'm afraid this McCree's going to flashbang me, and if this McCree flashbangs us from that position, we're pretty much fucking dead, because it's, like, it'd be real hard for him to miss the headshot from there. So I would have liked to have, like, gotten away from that. Now, he might have just flashbanged our Roadhog, given that he was doing some stupid shit. But, either way, I'd rather not take the chance. So here, you know, it might have made the difference. We can stray to the left a little bit and cut through the gas station, and then we've got more cover because we've got the pumps to the sides of us, as well as breaking line of sight to the enemy team slightly quicker than if we go back that way. We even had our roll up. We could have, like, it came up right at the end. We could have, like, tried to roll into the gas station rather than just backpedaling that way, which would take us slightly longer to get into cover. Also, I'm sorry, I just cracked my knuckles right into the microphone, so that'll have sounded great. So, getting back out. Fight's not going terribly in our absence. Like, a lot of that unfortunateness was mostly just from being, like, way too far up at the start of the round, more than anything else. Throw our flashbang over, stun the Reinhardt. McCree starts using Deadeye immediate. Oh my goodness, Roadhog, you ambitious motherfucker. Look, he's like, I'm gonna get that fucking McCree. Even if he did hook us right here, like, this wouldn't have worked in all likelihood because he's gonna immediately break line of sight on the railing. Or, sometimes it doesn't always break line of sight and, like, take you off the hook. But, like, I've seen this 1,000 times where there's, like, a railing in the way, so it just, like, and it doesn't break, but it just, like, drags you into it and presses you into it for a while. I've seen this happen on, like, Numbani as well, with, like, the railings up there. Like, if they're not broken and Roadhog hooks you, I've seen him, like, hook through the railings or just over the railings, and it just, like, drags you into them for a second, but doesn't actually take you down. Anyway, whatever. He had big dreams. That's the important moral there. He had some big dreams. It's important to dream. So the fight's, like, not going well for them at this point. It started falling apart for them fairly early on in that team fight, to be honest with you. Once we got back, anyway. And now we get to stand where we wanted to have been standing the entire time, which is on the gas station, because this is just where we try to stand all game on Route 66, if at all possible. They decided to go for the high ground, which is a fairly unusual path for people to take. I very rarely see people do this. There's not really anything wrong with it, I just don't see people go that way very frequently. Doomfist was charging his punch, and he went around the backside of us. We corrected our aim on that one pretty fast, because we, like, shot him there, and then immediately started aiming up. And, I mean, he did uppercut, like, right afterwards, but we corrected for that way too soon. We could have gotten another shot in on him, and then adjusted for him about to be using the uppercut, which is safe to assume what he would do after that point. But we corrected a little bit too soon. Managed to stun the Reinhardt out of his charge, fan the hammer, didn't even need to, he got killed regardless, but it was a good flashbang all the same. One of those kinds of things where even if you don't think the pin is going to accomplish anything, why take the risk? You might as well just stun the guy right in front of you, and then you get to fan the hammer into him as well. Tried to stun Doomfist, but he's already fucking dead, because he's not very good at Doomfist, based off of what we've seen so far. And at this point, they're doing a lot of staggering. There's not much of a concerted effort to push in from the enemy team so far. A lot of just picking people off one by one. They seem to be making an attempt to regroup now, at least, which is nice. Doomfist dead again. At least he's not on our team, because he doesn't seem to be particularly good at Doomfist. And it's, you know, kind of hard to be bad at Doomfist. I'm okay at Doomfist, and I hate Doomfist. We are standing perfectly still right now. We should not be doing that for that exact reason. There's an Ashe on the enemy team. Don't ever stand perfectly still, you know. Unless you're like, sir, you're like looking through a barrier at the badman that could hit you from long range, you know. You gotta be absolutely certain that you're not gonna get shot by somebody if you're gonna stand perfectly still. Bob back and forth a little bit, always, because it just makes it so much easier for the Ashe or the Widow or whatever if you're not moving at all. What a brave play to just stare that boy down in the eyes. Now, we did make a misstep in counting our ammo here, because we stun him, but we've got two guns in the chamber, yes. We've got 2 bullets in the chamber right now, so our fan was a little bit overwhelming. That is less efficient than just left-clicking him again at that point. Gotta count the ammo. So that you don't end up with the very embarrassing... Oh, that was fucking good from her, to be fair. Fair job on her. She got us good and proper right there. You gotta make sure to count the ammo, so that you're not in that awkward position where you're like, fan, 1 shot. And then you're like, fuck, what do I do? So then you roll, but the person's already gone by that point, but like, you're committed, so you like, you roll because you're embarrassed, you got 1 shot on, you fan again, but they've gone because they're not stunned anymore. It's very embarrassing. This is a big dream, Deadeye right there, but Roadhog didn't figure out where we were, neither did Genji, so it all gets to work out just fine in the end. But, scary, all the same, but it worked out. And hey dog, if you don't get punished, you don't have to learn. So we're getting 2 CP'd again at this point, pretty much, where it looks like we should be winning, but You know, they're stalling us out. We missed the stun on the Lucio right here, which is unfortunate because he's, like, giving us a lot of trouble. And we landed the stun that time, but he was falling, so we miss it again, you know. This is basically just aim better stuff at this point, which is not helpful, but, like, Lucio just got a lot of free... And now we're just mad. We just fan the hammer at him, and that honestly worked a lot better than our attempts to left-click him. It just took us so long to kill Lucio that at this point they've started reinforcing, and... You know, at this point, we could have just backed up and tried... We're just mad, just fanning the hammer into them over and over again at this point. After a while, we would have probably been better off just backing up, because we're missing the flashbang on these people, but being so close to them as somebody like McCree doesn't exactly make it easier to hit them a lot of the time. Is why Genji's like flipping all around you. It's a pain in the ass if you don't have your flashbang. So after a while, we would have probably just been better off backing up to get a better line of sight on the cart and the people coming in. We could have even like gone up onto the high ground, to be honest with you. That took so long. But it's mostly just like aim better at that point. It just took us so long to actually get that kill on that person, which you can extend that to all the other people that were there as well, right? Like, we were the only one that was failing to kill Lucio. So anyway, whatever, it happens, you know, mechanical stuff, it's always going to happen. No matter how good you get at this video game, there are going to be days you just can't hit the Lucio, dude. It's just how it's going to be. So we're going for a big dream, Deadeye again, and we got both their healers with it, which is pretty much as good as it's going to get, to be honest. Roadhog did notice that we were there that time, but he didn't have his hook, so he didn't stop us. I'm still not a big fan of, like... Oh, okay. Okay. Very greedy, but we got her. And as long as we don't die retreating, it was all worth it. Oh no, it wasn't worth it. Damn, we were so close to getting away with everything. It was very greedy, but I would have done the exact same thing. I won't lie. We could have made it easier retreating if we went back through the gas station, because we went back the whole, or not the gas station, through the bar. Because then we could have broken line of sight to the tunnel faster by going through there, rather than backing up all the way through the street, which is just a big empty expanse the whole way back. So that would have made it safer retreating, but I would have probably died the exact same way. I'm also a greedy bitch. It's okay. I think I was making a point before that, but I don't remember what it was anymore, so it can't have been that important, I suppose. So we've got a Widowmaker now, and that's exciting. Hopefully she does better than their Widowmaker did. We shouldn't have done that. We just flat out shouldn't have done for that one, because there is like almost no chance now. It's like a 1% chance we hold the payload right there. It's not do or die, right? Like if we were about to lose the round for that, fair enough. We ain't. We got plenty of time to work with here. We got to the end with 2 minutes and 39 seconds, you know. We can sacrifice that one checkpoint. It's okay. We don't need to do that. Very optimistic flashbang. We just like threw it directly at his shield, hoping he takes it down. Could have thrown it over. That's the classic maneuver. That's the worst though, when you gotta throw it over the Reinhardt, but he reads it, just does the little hop, or lifts the shield up. But that's when the mind games begin at that point. Because if the Reinhardt's shown you that he's gonna do that, like if he's shown you that he's gonna look up and block it, or hop to block it, here's what you do instead. You look like you're gonna throw it up, and then you throw it down instead, because he's gonna lift the shield, so the bottom's gonna open up, because he either lifts it up or he hops. So there's the mind game. If the Reinhardt's shown you that he's gonna look up, aim at the ground instead. He won't be ready for that one. I never am, so he won't be either, because everybody's as bad as me. Some people are even worse than me, which is terrifying to think about, to be honest with you. So we all got hit. Oh god. We all got hit by Earth Shatter. Life is very hard like that sometimes. We're trying to kill Bob. I'd rather not bother, to be honest with you. I'd rather just like go around the corner and try to get the bad men instead, because like killing Bob is such a time investment that's like frequently not worth the effort, because he goes away pretty quickly. So we could have just killed Mercy, right? Like, there's no reason to make this more risky than it needs to be, right? We've got Flashbang. We can just stun Mercy. Because there's always the possibility Mercy gets away, she gets to a shield, you know, anything like that once we start using Deadeye. If we Flashbang her, fan the hammer into her back, she's dead. There's no two ways about that one. And then we can go on business as usual, using Deadeye. And, you know, all we did was kill Mercy with this. Like, we could have killed Mercy, and there's the possibility Mercy lives. We might as well give Mercy no possibility of surviving, because she didn't know we were coming. We might as well take the entire possibility of her surviving out, and then use Deadeye. And, you know, we know with hindsight we didn't get anyone with but Mercy with Deadeye, but Mercy might have gotten away. And we don't want that. If the Mercy is, like, doing a better job of paying attention to her surroundings, she might have been able to, if she reacted faster. But she didn't, so, you know, but don't give her the chance. Just fan into her back. Took us a little bit of time to decide to do that one. We hesitated on stunning the Tracer. Don't hesitate. Just do it, you know. Commit to your plan one way or the other as soon as possible. Play with your heart, you know. That's how I would like to describe it. Don't, like, think about, should I do this, shouldn't I do that? Just fucking do it, dude. Just commit. Play decisively. Ambling, like, don't half-splitting, like, thinking about it, you know? Don't do that. Just commit immediately. And sometimes you'll commit to the wrong decision. Whatever, you know. It's a learning experience if that happens, if nothing else. But we stopped them from getting to the end, and that's the important thing. Tracer C9'd, good times, hooray. Who got play of the game? It's us, as McCree. Great job. It's gonna be when we kill the two supports, isn't it? Yeah, here we go, here we go. Oh, Roadhog's gut reaction was to use his take a breather instead. I guess he didn't have his hookup anyway, or if he did have his hookup and he just didn't go for it right there, that's the most depressing possibility of them all. And I hope that isn't what happened, but you know how some people are sometimes. I can't really think of an overarching thing that game that happened. No, can't really think about it. Can't really think of anything, so we're just gonna leave it at that, but I'm gonna see what YouTube recommends at the end, because that just feels like tradition at this point, to be honest with you. And it's, you know, much the same as usual. Who is this? Why Sonic Adventure 2 was so beloved. An hour and 31 minutes. This is the kind of video I'm into, so I'm gonna watch that one afterwards. I haven't seen it. I've seen almost all of these videos. I haven't seen Donkey's video, because to be honest with you, I don't really like Donkey that much. I know. It seems like he should be right up my alley, right? I don't really like Donkey that much. I can't really tell you why. I just don't really like Donkey. H-Bomber Guy's great. Super Eye Patch Wolf, great. Highly recommend. The Gantz video is really good. Highly recommend that one also. Anyway, so thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. I've started streaming on Twitch Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 8 PM EST till midnight EST. There's a link to the channel in the description. And if you managed to make it all the way through the video and somehow still enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe for more content of middling quality in the future. And I hope you found the video helpful.